This is the only, I've thought about this a lot, guys. This is the only way that I can find to do something. This is going to be a big problem. It's going to be a real big problem. We got George Strand out there. Karen Tappert's already been indicted. Jerry Kane stuff. Tim Turner. These people are friggin' whacked. Okay, they don't know what they're talking about. And every one of those are multiple felonies out there. In all reality, I'll bet you there's 100,000 people that did this stupid shit. And you think the government's just going to blow that off? You realize how much money these states will make by prosecuting these people? They're not going to blow that off.
Okay, she asked, recorders require docs to have specific recording headings. How should it be named so they will record it?
Okay, that's not true. That's not true at all. There's always a miscellaneous category, and some of them won't accept. So you want to find a small, very poor county, and they'll accept anything. Pinal County, literally, you could draw a picture on a napkin, they'll record it. As long as they need the money. You laugh. I did it. Okay? I'm talking to the lady when I'm recording documents. I'm like, what won't you record? And she's like, we got to record everything. The law says we've got to record everything. And I do this typical face on a napkin as a joke, and I go, record this. And she says, that'll be $12. And I said, no, I'm just kidding.
What's wrong with a notice of recantment?
She could just create a document called her recantment or notice.
I would just say errata.
Okay.
Okay, because I don't want to bring an attention to herself. I wouldn't necessarily put it in the same county. I'd take it and put it in somewhere else, okay? Because she doesn't want to draw attention to herself. She just, if they come after her, she can say, haha, I already corrected it.
Could she take, I'm just thinking, could she send the document to Mike Napier here, who would drive it out for her and file it in our county recorder out there in Pinal for her?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
She needs to be in California with it.
Almost definitely. Hold on for just a second, Bernie. Yeah.
Do you have a template for all of us so we can have a guideline to follow to correct our error?
No, I don't, because an errata is so easy. Just take what I told you, make up your own.
It's a statement.
Yeah, it's just, it's hold on, Marty. It's just just look up errata so you know what it is, look up recantment so you know what it is, and look up reliance defense so you know what it is. We're not talking about more than a couple paragraphs. And if it was me, oh, I'd lay it completely on the other guy. I absolutely would. If you paid somebody $10,000 to tell you to do something that was criminal, lay it on him. I don't care if these bastards go to jail. They've been ripping off and killing people off in this country for a long time. I don't care if all of them go to prison. Tired of them. I gotta spend my fucking time trying to correct their shit. Okay? And innocent people are going to prison every day because all these guys are having their damn seminars telling lies and getting rich. And these guys are getting rich. Oh, hold on. Yeah.
Oh, is that I'm up? Okay, yeah. John, on the recording of that doc, if you're very careful on how you word the errata and don't list your original filing of
you have to reference the document.
You have to reference the document that you filed, yeah. But if you're very careful on not referencing the original deed of trust,
yeah.
It goes into the miscellaneous. They won't attach it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't necessarily want a good heading on it. I want it to go
in the miscellaneous category. So if they don't look in miscellaneous, they'll never even see it.
Yes.
One of her concerns was she signed a confidentiality agreement for some sum of money she'll owe if she breaks the confidentiality agreement.
Let them friggin' bring that one into court. We know who she's talking about. Oh, those people friggin' scare me. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Break that, I'm not giving you legal advice. If it was me, I'd break that confidentiality agreement and say, come on in and sue me. Putting something like that in a contract can itself be a crime. Because it's extortion.
You're hoping you get that letter.
Yeah, come on.
That's
Sue me. I violated our confidentiality by telling the state you're committing a crime. I violated our confidentiality. Explain that one. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, Marty.
Yeah, as far as being able to come up with a document, just go to the county recorder's office, click on their document list, and they'll give you a whole list. You can look up all kinds of documents.
Yeah, most of those forms, erratas and that sort of thing, you're going to be able to find stuff. I haven't even bothered because it's real simple. Hold on, John. Yeah, Monroe.
Well, it's just the fact that you can't make a confidentiality agreement with somebody to conceal a crime.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly, and now they're trying to sue you to stop from releasing the information that they committed a crime, that's called extortion. That in some states, when it involves trying to prevent somebody from informing, it goes from a class 4 to a class 2 felony. That's a big deal. Like then next thing you know, the feds are also looking at you. Yeah, John.
Oh, I just wanted to say in Maricopa County.
I'm just thinking about something that I've heard, not that I've done, but that I've heard people did. Those bonded promissory notes that, remember, Rice was passing around. Okay, well, if I send any of those out, is that something I should do a recantment on? I mean, because
we can talk about it. No, most of that stuff isn't getting filed anywhere. It's
got sent to Henry Paulson.
Yeah, it's private communications.
Okay.
Okay, what matters is in a public office, not in the public,
right.
Not in an office, in a public office.
Perfect.
Okay, so if you file in the county recorder, UCC one addendum, commercial, all of that. Well, if you go through all these lists, you need to go and do a ROT on this.
No, I'm not talking about UCC stuff. Okay, most of that UCC stuff is just stupid. It's not criminal. Okay, it has no basis in law. It has no foundation in law. But it's not really criminal. In other words, if you go and you file something in the county,
look at what was filed, and that way it'll help you. Everything on that whole list.
That's not a happy face.
I would correct that. That son of a bitch is. See, that's why I know for a fact he's still working for Department of Homeland Security.
Well, I mean, I you know what I told you already.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm talking about a family, dude, that you just can't. I can't stand that cat now. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
John, I know he's the nicest guy you'll ever talk to, and that should scare the hell out of him.
Oh, I know. You know, that when I got dragged to one of his meetings and I heard him say in front of the crowd, well, I'm just like Jesus and the Founding Fathers, my only comment was, I don't think Jesus ever charged for giving a sermon. I think the Founding Fathers, most of them went broke trying to protect the rest of us. So you're not really like either one of them. And I can't wait to see when you meet that group what they do to you for saying that.
Okay, last week I went over this affidavit that I did in my case, so for those of you that already heard this, I apologize, it's kind of redundant, but it's super important. I posted this on the website, Ryan did, it's redacted, it's called Affidavit About Borrower, and basically a lot of the affidavits that I'm doing now, I'm actually putting this verbiage in as well, but this is an affidavit you can use for your own case if your deed of trust and note has the same language as what mine did. Basically, I go through and say that pursuant to the deed of trust, gives the alias of security instrument to the document to be used throughout. They give the name of lender as an alias to Bank of America throughout the document. They give the alias of the name borrower to, in my case, it's Cynthia Cantrell, an unmarried woman. That's not my name. My name is Cynthia J. Cantrell, Cynthia Jeanette Cantrell. It goes by Cindy Cantrell, but I do not go by Cynthia Cantrell, an unmarried woman. I don't know who she is. I don't know how she pertains to me. And I list all this stuff, kind of spell it out. It's their verbiage in their documents that I'm just attesting to what I believe it means. They give the new definition of loan. It means a debt evidenced by a note. So then I review the adjustable rate note. Borrower's promise to pay. Who's borrower? It doesn't say. It never says I'm borrower. It never even tells anybody who borrower is, or that he borrowed anything, or that he was lent anything. All that's in the affidavit. I put, I, Cynthia J. Cantrell, have never been known as borrower, nor have I ever used borrower as an alias for myself.
Real quick, let me interject something, and Marty brought up this important fact a couple weeks ago. An alias is only applicable in law if you're previously known to it. So they can't just create an alias in that document and have it stamped. There's got to be some history for that alias. If right now we start calling Bernie Robert, and we do some document where Robert's owed or is demanded to pay some, it wouldn't apply because he's never been known as Robert, right? See, it's important shit. Yeah.
One thing that I've seen in
You're gonna have to speak up, Patrick.
one thing that I've seen in mortgage closings is a list of names that you have previously gone by.
Yes.
Alias names, and none of them are
Borrower?
Cynthia Cantrell borrower.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm going to say that because that was awesome.
Yeah.
Or
They
a
usually
single
give
woman.
you a document to fill out with all the potential aliases you've ever used for yourself. In my case, I've been married a couple times, so it'd be all my last names and my first name, different spellings. But nowhere have I ever used the alias on that document as borrower.
Aren't you agreeing to the alias when you sign the paper?
No. It's very tricky. What they need to do is get on the website, showmethelone.net, and look up this affidavit that I used in my case, redacted and posted for everybody to use. It's called Affidavit About Borrower. And basically, you know, it starts out on the note. It says, borrowers promise to pay in return for a loan that I have received. I promise to pay $448,000 in my case. To lender. Lender is Homecomings. Anyway, nowhere does it say that I'm borrower. Nowhere does it say I was lent anything. It goes into all of that. Talks about a loan I have received. Doesn't say what loan, from who, when, where, why. Just that because I got a loan from someone someday, borrower owes this money. Therefore, I find no evidence I was ever lent the sum of $448,000. Therefore, I cannot be in default of any loan to Homecomings. On and for the record, I never received a personal check or deposit into my checking account for $448,000 by Homecomings Financial Network, Inc. Furthermore, it goes into the fact that the deed of trust and the note has a spot where next to your signature is the word seal. And put in there, it's my opinion that since the deed of trust has the word seal after the signature line on page 14, the deed of trust must have a seal affixed or it's invalid. My case, most of our cases, I'm sure no one has a seal. Seal is very important. We went over that last week. I'm going to Jennifer to speak to that again. And at the end, it says this, that the adjustable rate note dated May 31st, 2006 does not indicate that Cynthia J. Cantrell was ever lent the sum of $448,000 by Homecomings. Therefore, Cynthia Cantrell cannot be in default to Homecomings Financial Network, Inc. Any payments made by Cynthia J. Cantrell to Homecomings Financial Network, Inc., their successors and assigned, were only made because Cynthia Cantrell misread the deed of trust and adjustable rate note due to the creation of aliases and therefore must be returned to Cynthia J. Cantrell post haste. That's my affidavit I put in my case. And it's also verbiage that I'm putting in affidavits that if you have this kind of language, I'm actually putting this in my affidavits along with the title search stuff that I put in. Did you have a question?
In my case with my house right now, I haven't had filed any documentation aside from a QWR in lieu of an research that they did on the documentation, and I haven't filed anything. But yet now they're changing servicers in my case, and they haven't done anything as far as would I be able? They haven't done anything towards me as far as filing foreclosure or anything. Is that something that I will be able to put forward into a filing towards them for what they're doing before they even file anything or before they try to foreclose?
Let them make their mistakes first.
Okay.
Don't stop your enemy from destroying himself. Just don't. Let them do their stupid stuff. Let them commit the crime because you can't stop them, and then handle it afterwards.
Hold on. Marty,
I
go
have a
ahead.
question about, we might have discussed this before, but I have a question about the deed of trust.